Good.
Coach, what do you feel like the offense got out of the opening week last week?
It was good, man. What we did is we went back, looked at the first 4 games, really did a hard self-scout on us, and what were some of the issues that were bothering us that we need to get fixed. And for us, that's what we did. We really focused on just mistakes that we saw that were happening, and just making sure, because that's what we had to do. We had to clean up those things, and fundamentally just working on those fundamentals, man. Get the guys where they feel comfortable in the fundamentals so they can play faster. It's all about speed with us, and so that's what we had a good week of that, a real good week of work, and enjoyed the way the guys came out and got a good weekend.
Offensive line, what do you need to work on to get better on the line?
Yeah, it's a number of things. I mean, that's going to be something that, our steps, our pad level, our hands, that's something that's going to be continued to preach upon from back in spring all the way probably 3-4 years from now with the guys. But they're doing you're seeing improvements. I'm seeing the improvements that I like seeing. The things that we're working on. We're asking these guys to do something that some of them aren't accustomed to doing. It's a little bit different for them up front, and so it's really good seeing them progress through it and improving that. And so the more they feel comfortable with it, I think the faster you'll get to see those guys play up front.
You guys do what you do, I guess, but knowing how Boston College takes its pride in the way they run is a little bit. We want to show you we can do that.
And playing against those guys for the past 3 years, and I told the guys today, the one thing about Boston College, man, that is it's a physical, strong football team, and they take pride in what they do on both sides of the ball up front. And so I told the guys, this type of game as a lineman that you love to go and play in. And it's been like that every year with Boston College, and they've had great lines on both sides of the ball. They're a physical, strong group that's going to be where they're supposed to be and play great football. And so I think it's as a lineman, when you got those tasks, but week in and week out, there's always going to be that challenge. But we know Boston College, what they pride themselves on, and it's something that obviously hit home with the guys today, and we talked about, and I think the guys came out and had a really good practice today.
Those videos and Kai sent us on Twitter yesterday, him just really throwing people to the ground. He's had a pretty good year in terms of. Has he surprised you even a little bit with how well he's played so far this year?
I think that he's got we haven't seen not even the tip for him yet. There's so much ahead of him. I think that the great thing about Makai is just his attitude. You tell him that he needs to work on this thing, you see him trying to improve that and work on that, which I love that about a player. And obviously he's got tremendous size, tremendous athletic ability, and but it's fun to see that come onto the field where he's going against some elite defensive linemen and really having some really good blocks. He's having a good season thus far with it. But it's just really, and he and I talked today about it, keep pushing, man. We got to keep pushing. How good can we get? Keep pushing that envelope of how good can we get. We can't relax, can't sit back, can't be happy with how you've played so far. We got to keep working to get better, improving the things that we point out week in and week out. But I love his attitude. I love his work ethic. But I think that even by the end of the year, you're going to see a better version of him than what you're seeing right now.
Watch him on film. What stands out the most? Is it kind of that strength that pops out?
He's got tremendous strength. He's got power in his hips. But I think the thing about him, with his size, he's so athletic. I think a lot of times when you see big guys like himself, sometimes they can struggle with certain blocks. I don't see that with Makai. He's able to make all the blocks. And to me, that's pretty special when you see a guy his size making those blocks.
I think you've only played 6 linemen in 3 out of the 4 games. How's the depth development?
It's going well. I thought Adonis Boone had a really good week of practice last week, and so I think that he's a guy to maybe start getting into the rotation a bit. He had a really good week, and like I said before, you know, that's something that at practice we're working hard to try to continue to develop. And you know, if we feel like somebody's ready, you know, we'll get them in there, and that way we can just keep guys fresh, keep a good rotation, and if the guys are earning it, then let's go and do it then. But I think Boone did a really good job, and obviously you guys have seen how we kind of been rotating Cole in there with the inside three, and so they're working. It's coming along. It's coming along.
How important has Cole been to be able to spell all three of those guys inside?
It's a valuable asset. You know, it's and I've told Cole this before. It's like you've got to, like, that's such a valuable part of our offense right now, because when you can spill those guys like the Florida State D line, if you can start spilling those guys and just keep us a little bit more fresh in the second half and the fourth quarter, I think that, you know, it helps us tremendously, because we're not worn down. And what Cole can go in and do, show his versatility, I think that helps us a ton. You know, we had, where I was at NC State, we had the same thing with the linemen. And Cole is doing that great right now. And to be able to snap, to both play both guards, it's a tremendous asset for us that you know, it helps us tremendously.
Coach, how crucial was it to get that done?
It's fun to see him, man. You know, he's a playmaker. You know, but the thing that impresses me most about Dez is just his work ethic, his attitude, how many plays he's making without the ball in his hands. And I think that's a great sign of a complete receiver. And to see him do that, knowing that he's going to get those chances, and obviously you guys saw what he did with those chances, but throughout the whole season, and I get chills just thinking about it, man, he is relentless in their blocking and just such a unselfish player. And that's awesome on offense to have that type of player on the outside. I mean, he's making some blocks that's really springing some of our runs. And he's been fantastic. But it's you know, that him catching that post against Florida State, making that play, I mean, that's awesome. And it's good seeing him with the ball in his hands for sure.
All right.